whole process of getting a meaning to, I mean, a day-to-day meaning to Vajra pride. To me, it's like being, visualizing yourself as the Yidam, as a Buddha, means that you, um, I don't know, I'm trying to,
Mhm.
these ideas about, well, I should be doing better than that then.
Yes,
It-
the thing is that we have a strong habitual pattern, right? And we have this, this is me, nothing but me. And then this practice, tantric practice, Idan practice is antidote to that. So of course resistance comes and all these, you said, quote, quote, mistakes or unfulfilling feeling about the practice or something, that sort of thing comes. But I think it's important to maintain the Mahayana practice of emptiness and bodhicitta. Those things are fundamental. And I've been kind of talking about go back to the basis again and again. If we start to have a glimpse into emptiness, me here, I take to be the self is empty, just a kind of projection, or we are imputing this is me. So that kind of illusionary castle or island we created started to dissolve and melt. Then we actively do this creation stage. Creation stage is the active stage. But that is based on that deconstruction of the self, at least a little bit, so that we can start working those together. Deconstruction and reconstruction of the real true self, align with that reality. Those things have to go together. Then this kind of friction we face is a good, healthy friction. If no friction, it's may not working. That's the sign of something going on. That way, it's good to take it as a positive sign. It's not comfortable.
just awareness of it
Yeah,
is.
awareness of it. And emptiness is a powerful antidote.
What is your concept of the use of the word pride? Do you think that's a really good
Nagel.
term?
It's Nagel, that's Tibetan word. Divine pride, or I translate like a sacred dignity. I don't know what makes a difference, but more like a dignity or self-worth, divine, sacred dignity.
I read that whenever one is going for refuge or purifying negative karma, like prostrations, this and that, one reduces their divine pride. What is the reason for that? Does one eventually get to a state where it's not a problem? Like, is it because one has to reduce divine pride because it's beneficial, or because, like, as a beginner, it's maybe more difficult? Does
Good
one
question.
eventually,
I
yeah.
think the former. I think it's beneficial. See, as I said, we are innately good and we have awakened seed. So deity is the expression of the Buddha nature, like crystallization of the Buddha nature. So we are that. But also, as I said, that part of us is covered up by all the obscuration. So there are lots to purify. Those both duality, kind of not a contradiction, but those kind of dual things we are working on. So we already have a seed for awakening, while we need to purify to unveil that. For example, Vajrasattva practice, we need to reduce that part, but more emphasizing the obscuration part so that we can unveil more and more. Then when we arise as a Idam finally, so self-generation, then we are just focusing on that awakened part of ourselves. So sadhana is a map, right? And it's called the means of accomplishment. It's a map, entire map. It has the purification, accumulation. First, purify, and also we need to accumulate, but also recognizing our innate nature. Entire kind of process is embedded in one journey called sadhana. So very brilliant map.
I really appreciate the translation of divine dignity. I think that's kind of, without using that word, that's kind of how I've tried to translate. Because with pride in the West, we think of like proud, I'm so great, right? Boastful, which is something that we don't really want to do on this path, practicing compassion and everything. You mentioned Chogyam Trungpa earlier. He talks about not getting sucked into becoming the cosmic ape, the prideful, I'm a god on earth, I'm a Buddha, you know, taking it all too literally. And so that helps me kind of bring it back to divine dignity. I really appreciate that insight there. I think I'm going to use that from now on.
You know, those terminology, so-called technical terms, when back maybe 60s, 70s, Western translator translated into English, divine pride, that's a kind of fast translation. Then people just settled with that. But now in 2025, really we need to understand in our level and what that really means experientially. Then we come up with a good translation. Always challenging to translate because English already have this connotation of whatever Christian background. For example, confession, you know, that sort of thing. I translate individual acknowledgement, but those are just translations, you know, like a pointing a finger at something real meaning. But the real meaning is that each of us need to really understand. So whatever that fingers can help, so finger can be changed, like expression can be changed according to our own understanding, deep understanding. That's how I feel because I don't belong to academia, so I can do very free. I can talk a little more freely.